back into the 80s, basically. If you are, you'll dig it. Yeah.
Shall we get this
Anyway.
started?
Mhm.
Baby shark do 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 do.
I've only just got that out of my head. Ah, I was singing it all the way up in my head, all the way up the range to Toowoomba on the weekend, just going, I need to get that song out of my head. But yes, it was a really nice use of it, I thought, in the
I
film.
think so.
For those people for those children of the popcorn that are joining us, uh, we are doing Dangerous Animals tonight for the podcast, and that song is sung beautifully in the film by Mr. Jai Courtney there, who's behind me. And yes, I've only just now got it out of my head, and Soxy's put it back in. Thank you for the earworm.
You're welcome.
Well, let's look, just do a couple little bits of admin for the film. It's Dangerous Animals. It's just been released at the cinema. It's still there. It's been difficult to find a budget or an accurate budget for this film. I did find one that seemed to think that it was $2.5 million. I've also seen a report that said that it pumped $10.5 million into the Gold Coast
Yeah, that's it.
economy.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to say how much this film cost.
But
There's a wonderful little web.
thank
Sorry.
you, because that bleeds over to us. So thank you,
Yeah.
though.
Oh,
Yeah, and
100%.
yeah.
If anyone is interested, the website that I usually get my budgets and stuff from is called The Numbers. It is just called, it's the-numbers.com. It's got some really interesting financial information about films on it if you're interested in that sort of thing. All right, so
Nice.
just before we get too deep into the admin of the film, Mr. Popcorn, what was your general thoughts on Dangerous Animals?
First of all, thank you once again to Studio Canal for the tickets to the premiere of this, the sneak preview, whatever you want to call it.
Gave some away.
Uh, and we had a look. Well, I got to go see it about a week before it generally came out. So thank you very much for that. And we got to give away 5 double passes to shout out to our winners there. You know who you are. Thank you very much. Please play again.
Yes.
And so I was there by myself out there. Where was I? Mount Gravatt. It's not Winter Garden.
Oh,
Doesn't
the
matter, does it?
Westfield,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Out there,
event
out there.
cinemas.
Yeah, that's it. Vince Cinema's out there. Um, okay. As we've discussed on, I don't know if you've seen it already or if you're going to see it, but you'll find out my feelings about shark movies in general. And not that I dislike them, I don't have the fear of sharks. I'll just
I do.
start there. And so they're generally not for me because I don't get a sense of fear or horror out of them. And I'm not a big beach person, I'm not a big swimmer, I'm not a surfer, etc., etc. Yeah, you get the picture. Um, so this film is not just a shark attack movie. There's other elements to it that we'll go into it to discuss, we'll discuss. It's not that I disliked it, but I did get sit there bored because of that, though. That's that kind of, bored in a way that the people around me certainly will not, or the people that I've, watched, review it or read reviewing. Um, it's not, I'm not quite on an island. Um, But I'm at the end of the road, I'm on the pier, however you want to put it. Yeah.
Sure.
But please, Baron, what did you think?
Well, I'll go last, but Soxy, what were your
Okay,
initial
please.
thoughts
Sorry, sorry.
of Dangerous Animals?
Well, I'm a huge sharksploitation fan, and so I really, really liked this film. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Kismet Movies and Event Cinemas in Inaloo for inviting me to the preview screening here in Perth. Look, I really thought this film was Wolf Creek meets Jaws, and I love those two films, so this one's for me.
All right, good, good. I have I love shark films as well. Like I have in my collection Santa Jaws and Sharktopus
Me
and
too.
and Sharknado. Like I love all those things. I think my one thing about this film is there wasn't enough shark in it.
Fair.
Um,
Ah,
so
okay.
little bit of a history for me is like I saw Jaws way too early. I saw Jaws after having been shouted at by a swimming teacher that there was a shark after me in the swimming pool, which I, hid back in the deep recesses of my mind for many years until I worked out why I actually have phobia or thalassophobia. I'm not quite sure which of the two. One is the fear of great white sharks, the other is fear of the deep, dark water. Uh, so often when I'm seeing a shark film, the more ridiculous, the better. So I love the Sharktopus and I love
Okay.
Sharknado. They're not realistic in any way. I don't get that fear. But with the more realistic shark films, like Jaws, realistic for a given value, I will often have an emotional support human with me. Um,
Mhm.
just because it just speaks to the lizard brain in the back of my head and it tells me I'm going to get eaten alive by whatever the fanged horror from the deep is on the screen. So I was disappointed in the lack of shark. I really liked Jai Courtney. The production was beautiful, but I would have loved to
Mhm.
have had more real shark in this. So I'm a little bit on the fence. I'm kind of in between the two of you there. I would have liked more shark, I think. One thing I will say though, the people that made the poster with the swath of blood behind the boat looking like a shark fin, love that. That's some
Mm.
spectacular marketing.
Mm.
And shout out to Studio Canal for the official movie or
Yeah.
publicity poster there behind us,
Mm. It's
behind
really
me.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is. And you're right about the production. Everything about the production and visual aspects were of a very high level because, of course, this is Sean Byrne, the
Yeah.
director, if I may there, Baron. And it was The Loved Ones. So I
Yeah.
say that because I went in with that expectation as
Mm.
well. So, oh my goodness, I'm going to go see the new movie by the director of The Loved Ones and The Devil's Candy, which I quite liked as well.
Good film.
Yeah, yeah. But again,
Uh,
I'm not a shark movie person. The performances, we'll talk about those.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
Oh, yeah.
dislike them, but
100%.
there's stuff to talk about.
I
And
really
yeah,
like the comparisons that people are drawing between this and Wolf Creek.
Mm.
that's
The
yeah,
Creek
yeah,
at
yeah.
sea. I really like
Mm,
that.
mhm.
And I think Jai Courtney does a real nice, unhinged, sea-based serial killer. So yeah. All right. So children, if
Mhm.
you haven't seen it yet, go and see it and come back because we're going to spoil this. So you can't complain if we do spoil it. One thing I will say though, I did in a previous podcast say that Jai Courtney was Kano in the Mortal Kombat film from 2021. I was incorrect. That character was played by Josh Lawson. So that's the Baron's correctile dysfunction there. I got that wrong. Apologies. So yes. So yeah, a little bit of a correctile dysfunction on myself there. All right. So you're back now, children. You've either seen it or you've got no grounds for complaining to us about being spoiled.
Excellent, excellent.
So yeah, so Dangerous
Um,
Animals 2025 film.
m-
It goes for just over 90 minutes. Yes, Mr. Popcorn.
just thinking, just before the children go away to,
Oh yeah.
finish their popcorn, if they have not seen it, do we recommend that people go to see this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Even if you're not a shark movie person, it is generally worth seeing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well put
Yeah.
together film. Not, yeah. Thank you.
I happily paid for it. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I did have people in front of me though that were being annoying, but other than that, that didn't affect my viewing of the film.
That's
But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And another thing,
Yeah.
another discussion. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so it's a 2025 film, goes for 98 minutes. So it's just over that hour and a half. As we said, directed by Sean Byrne, who we did The Loved Ones. Have a look back in our back catalogue for that one. I think we all
Mm.
loved all over that.
Mhm.
So I think I was also expecting maybe something a little bit different than what we got because it was Sean. That could have colored my opinion as well.
Mm.
The writer is Nick Edmond.
Yeah.
Do you think that colored your opinion, Mr. Popcorn?
It absolutely colored my opinion. Yeah, it absolutely colored my opinion. Because going in as well, because as I say, I'm not a surfy, etc., etc. This just really just highlighting the movie is not. It's just not a movie made for me.
Mm.
Um, you think about the loved ones, the production design, and the Devil's Candy. The production design, it's not generic, but is accessible the word? Yeah, I'll put the word accessible,
Mainstream.
like mainstream almost, because the idea of the beach of surfing. So
Yeah.
that's a world, and the general aesthetic, the colors, the themes, the tones that go along with that is generally opening to most people. So I will say that, yeah. Devil's
Yeah.
Candy and the loved ones are not. They're not opening. They're open, themes and tones, etc. to most people. Yeah, they
Yeah.
hit you in the face. Yeah. This
Mm.
does, don't get me wrong, but maybe that's the clever thing about it because
Yeah.
there's the twist that comes into it where that whole world, yeah, gets ripped open, pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. But it did
I've
color
just had
my
a
it did color my expectations, absolutely, is the point. Yeah.
I've just had a thought that maybe it was very low budget and they decided not to go down the route of the CG shark, which always looks fake. So it's
Mm,
Hmm.
possible that's why there's not as much shark in it as maybe they would have liked.
Hmm. Hmm.
Possible.
possibly.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah.
Actually, that might even raise my rating slightly. Okay. I'll give that some thought while I'm talking. All right. So the writer is a person by the name of Nick Leopard. Nick has written one other project, which is to come out this year, which is another horror film. Looks like it's set in a remote cabin called Keeper. So might have to have an eye out for
It
that.
looks good. Yeah, that one looks good. I had a look at the wiki on that. That looks
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
So our stars in this, not a lot of horror backgrounds between them. So we've got the main character or the final girl, however you want to refer to her, Hassie Harrison. So she plays a character called Zephyr. Uh,
Hmm.
Probably the most famous for doing 18 episodes of Yellowstone, Heart of Dixie. But yeah, no real horror
I
in.
could see that. Yeah. Cowgirl, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Jai Courtney who's playing Tucker. He's our serial killer. He's our main baddie, other than the Sharks. He was in A Good Day to Die Hard, where he played Jack McClane. He was in Suicide Squad. He was in Terminator Genesis. He's obviously the name draw card for this one.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
but he hasn't done an awful lot of horror either. Like, unless you want to
No,
count
he's a, he's
Suicide
an
Squad,
action he's an action dude. Yeah.
he's an action guy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, then we've got Josh Houston. I won't go. Well, there's not a lot of people in this, but yeah, we won't go too deep into this.
Yeah, who's the boy, the love interest?
The
No
love interest, Josh
disrespect.
Houston. He's the symmetrical, conventionally attractive male lead.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Josh Houston, you said,
Josh
yeah.
Houston. He was in Heartbreak High, Dune Prophecy, the TV series, Thor: Love and Thunder. Not a lot of horror in this either. Lots of TV.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then we go down the list. We've got Ella Newton, who plays Heather. Heather was the before the credits
Yeah, the
uh,
British,
Mm.
unfortunate
kill,
British
or
girl, yes.
kill in inverted commas. We're supposed to think she gets killed, but then we see her again later. She was in Harrow, an episode of, I'm sorry, a bunch of episodes of Harrow playing the daughter of the main character. Uh, I don't think she was in the episode that I did. Mm.
Oh,
Regardless.
okay. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I did some spectacular back to camera acting in a scene with a bunch of other extras. Blink and you'll miss it. I was wearing a hat. Not a lot of horror in her background either. Um, Seems she did do a couple, has done a couple of horror shorts, but that's about the extent of it. Liam Grinke plays Greg. Greg is the guy that just gets stabbed in the neck as he comes up out of the water at the start. Once again, not a lot of horror. He was in The Red, however, playing a character called Robbo. That's Rippy, the bush kangaroo, or the Red, however you want it, whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
with Tess Horbrick and um, Mungo McKay and various Brisbane people, and Michael Bain from the Aliens franchise.
Fun film.
It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Not a lot of other on-screen kind of people. We've got like Cop and Senior Constable Green and Surfer Number One. The
Sure, sure.
one highlight for me in the cast is Carla Haynes, who plays Lexi's young mum. I do improv with Carla, so Carla is one of our other Improv Queensland teachers. So yeah,
Awesome.
Shout out to Carl.
so shout out to Carla on that one. That's our sort of main cast with photos, other than like
Hmm.
beachgoer Patrick Moroney, who's the yeah, I can't. I was going to make a joke about him being like the most, the popular player, but yeah, no. It's just like, yeah, it's great that you've got your photo up on IMDb, but I don't remember you from the film. Sorry. All right. So, uh, there was one bit of trivia that was interesting that I found. There's a lot made in the film about the Finn key that he helps her out with, and the whole bunch of people have gone, "Oh, why has he got a fin key? He said he wasn't a surfer." A fin key, folks, is just an Allen key with a weird little toggle on it. Like
Hmm.
it's a wanky Allen key. You would have various versions of it in every toolbox in Australia. So yes,
Did
that's it.
you have did you have the one with the actual shark attack on set?
No, I didn't see that. What happened?
Okay, so the area that they were filming in at night, they were surrounded by real sharks, to put it simply, like bull
Oh,
Mm.
sharks, yeah.
okay,
And so it put, a lot of, say, realism into the performances for Zephyr
sure,
and such who had to be in the water.
yeah.
But point, I forget if it was Soxy, do you know if it was a stunt person or a security swimmer?
I can't
But
remember which, but I have read this story.
non-cast or
Mm.
non-film crew person in the water for the production got one of their fins ripped straight off them
Oh,
just like boom like that, yeah, and just spooked them all to hell, of course. Yeah,
As it
and
would.
nothing, thankfully that was the extent of it. Yeah, no fatalities or anything, but yeah. So the sharks weren't real, but the real sharks were there.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
okay. Oh,
which I
was didn't
found
know
cool.
that.
Comes from
Ah,
Sean. Yeah, saw an interview, a cast interview. Comes from Byrne, director
ah,
himself. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Real sharks were around the boat.
Cool, eh?
Mm.
Well,
Nice. That well, cool for a given value, I suppose.
Mm.
yeah. See, that would
Uh,
scare me. That would scare me, of course. When I say
yeah.
I'm not scared of sharks, I don't have a phobia of sharks. I'm not a lunatic. I know these, are giant predators of the sea.
Yeah.
Mm.
Of course. Yeah. That would irk me if I had to be Zephyr,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
herself
Hmm.
as well in that water. Yeah. So, yeah, well done to everyone. Respect for the production, for this, of course.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into the plot. I did see something though that it wasn't just an Australian film. There was also some American production in this
Yeah,
as well.
co-production pretty much, I think.
And it went to Cannes, which is nice.
Mm.
Hmm. hmm Did it win anything or nominated?
Let's have a
I didn't
look.
see
I didn't see
anything.
anything.
Mm.
But no,
Uh,
it's good. It's a good highlight. Jai Courtney in an interview was very glad to be, going to Cannes and giving such, shine to an Australian story. And he's
yeah,
happy to do so in the horror realm as well, which he doesn't normally get to play in, but he's happy to do more. He
yeah.
thinks he got a bit of a kick out of it, certainly when he got to Baby Shark it up.
Oh, yeah. Really good use of the song, I
Yes.
thought.
Yeah. For a song I never want to hear, I was happy to hear it then. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah. All right. So we do have a cold open in this film. We start on the boat,
Mhm.
well, at the dock with a young couple who say they're not a couple, going up to rent Tucker's adventure boat ride to go out and swim with sharks. So we follow them out. Um, so he remarks he's talking to them and like he tells them how he survived a shark attack as a child, and he pulls up his shirt and you can see the scars on his torso. He then puts the Pom and her boyfriend in the shark cage. They go down. They see the sharks. They do the swim with the sharks. They come out of the water all energized, and that's
Hmm.
the moment when the shift happens, and Tucker
Hmm.
just stabs him in the neck like 3 times with it's not even a big knife, like a little
Mm.
belt knife,
Hmm.
killing the boyfriend and pushing him into the water.
Yeah, a quick, sharp shift happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yep.
that.
I
Yeah.
really liked that they didn't lampshade this with music either. Like
Mm.
it was really an unexpected move.
Was how unexpected? Did you see it coming at all?
Well, only because I know that it's a film about a dude, using sharks to be his tools as a serial killer. I was pretty sure this guy wasn't going to survive. Anyone that's in before the credits is generally not going to survive a horror movie.
Mm.
Did Jai give it away? Soxy, please, if you want to jump in. Did Jai give it away at all
I
that
didn't
that
think
was
so.
going to happen beforehand? Soxy?
I mean, he definitely had a creepy vibe to him from the beginning.
Hmm.
He did
But
from the beginning.
Yeah,
yeah, but whether you know for sure he's going to actually kill them right away, it's a 50-50.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'd agree with that, actually. I'd agree with
I,
that. Yeah.
I
Just curious, just curious.
I thought he was giving off more of a weirdo vibe than a creep vibe.
Hmm. I got
Jai,
great.
A man
on
that's on
the
his own a lot.
hmm hmm Courtney, on the interview I watched this afternoon, he was saying that he was taking it from a lot of influence from old mates he's met down the pub. And it was a little bit of that on steroids. If you remember Burt Lancaster's character from Jaws, it was a little bit of echoing of that guy.
Hmm.
I love the sea and this, this is Australia. Oh, this is quaint, isn't it? We're out here with these, Antipodean weirdos. Yeah, the
Yeah.
British couple. They saw it as kind of quaint, a play on that. So it was hidden very well, but you still knew it was coming, I reckon.
Hmm.
Yeah. A good cold open, though,
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Yes.
It was a
I mean,
good cold open.
I
Yeah.
definitely got Mick Taylor vibes from that cold open from
Oh,
him.
absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, the sea is the outback,
Yeah.
essentially. It's just a
Hmm.
switcheroo.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes. All right. So yeah. So then we cut to the credits. And after the credits, we meet Zephyr, who is driving around town in her house van, the like a transit van with a mattress in the back of it. Um, so we then with her meet Moses, and Moses gets her to help start the car with some jumper leads by blackmailing her that he's not going to tell the service station attendant that she nicked some ice cream when she bought her soft drink.
Also, the way she did that is absolutely genius. I
Oh
wish I
yeah,
had a thought of that.
yeah. So you're putting the small container of ice cream in the bottom of the big gulp bucket and then filling it up with drink. Genius.
Yes.
So yes. So we meet our two romantic leads. So we've got Zephyr and Moses. Weird names, by the way.
Mm.
Like no one in this is called Steve. They've
No.
all got odd names.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, so they bond real quick and they end up having a one night stand. Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
just for the mums and dads in the audience, just be aware there is a fairly graphic sex scene. So it's not necessarily something you want under teens to watch probably, but you do you. Not going to say you can't, but just be aware that it's there.
Can we talk about, because it's coming up pretty soon,
Sure.
can we talk about the connection between Zephyr and Moses? And you said pretty quick. I'd say
Yeah.
that's an understatement. considering what's about to happen soon and the steps and choices they make regarding their relationship,
Yeah.
Mm.
do you think it was earned? Do you think, the growth, the development was there to do, the heroic things that do occur as this film does, go on? I reckon, I don't know, Sean, no disrespect, but it was just, you've written better stuff than this in terms, even the most more fucked up characters, you've written better kind of, yeah, development. That's just me. I don't know. What do you two reckon?
Some people get attached really fast, and he was a very young character, very naive to, he didn't think it was a one night stand. He thought
Yeah.
But
she
Zephyr, though, Zephyr, in contrast
Zephyr,
to
yeah.
Zephyr, though, who's going like, I'm the lone wolf. Yeah.
I've known people like that though, like people who travel by
Mm.
themselves and do have a very similar attitude to her. So it's definitely realistic, at least from my experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Maybe
So
there's no right answer, wrong or right
yeah,
answer. Yeah.
I
Baron?
got the feeling that she was gone that next morning. Like when she went out to surf, I think even her texts backwards and forwards were a bit non-committal. I think
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
partly the possibility that she was going to go surfing, and then by the time the next night fell, she was going to be in Byron Bay, or she was going to
yeah.
be somewhere else.
No, you're right. It was definitely more him. It was definitely
Mm.
more him. And I don't know. I don't know. It was, yeah. Crazy is not the word, but I don't know. There needed to be a couple more plot beats for me to be entirely convinced. That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
Just a small critique, perhaps. Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
understandable. Does it help if you know that Moses is a real estate agent?
I don't think
No.
so.
Oh, okay.
That just makes him creepy. That just makes him creepy. And he's
Um,
not creepy. Moses is not creepy.
so yeah,
No.
well, he's
No.
obviously hoping that it's going to turn into a relationship rather than maybe just a one night stand. That's
Mm.
definitely fair to assume that
Hmm.
he's more involved in the relationship maybe than Zephyr is.
Well, absolutely. He goes inside, he's making her breakfast, and he comes out and she's gone. He did not expect her to be leaving.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
but then at like almost like private dick investigation level to,
Well, like I
yeah,
said, some people
yeah,
get
yeah,
attached
yeah, that's
really
true. That's
fast.
true. That's true. Yeah,
love
that's true.
bombing.
Anyway, that's fine. We'll move on. We'll move on. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so should we cut back to her? She's arrived at the beach where she's going to go surfing. Um, she's trying to get her board set up. Obviously, she's got a problem with the fins. She can't find her um, Allen key, otherwise known as a fin key, whatever they want to call it in the film. Um, and she spots Tucker's ute at the, or sorry, pickup truck for our American friends, parked in the same car park. She goes searching for a tool to attach the fin, and she's sprung by Tucker. Um, he gives her a fin key. I don't know whether it's an actual fin key or just an Allen key, but he gives her a tool, and then he uses that opportunity to abduct Zephyr.
Yeah, because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, something like this. Yeah, three,
I
4 in the
do
morning.
love in that scene how we see her vulnerabilities though, where she's going to text the guy and then she's
Yep.
she's kind of deleting the text and then she
Yeah.
tries to and she just it's like she wants that connection, but she's scared and she's so you have all that build up as well. And
Yeah.
then
Hmm.
of course
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
abduction.
Yeah, yeah. What do we reckon of Zephyr's character up until this point? Because we had the introduction of her to establish her lifestyle,
Mm.
and that was further developed with meeting Moses. Like I eat, what was it, 9 bread rolls a day, and that
Yeah.
white
Oh yeah, the
processed
bread rolls.
supermarket bread rolls
Yeah.
and such. And then because Moses, he was in trouble at work, and he was downtrodden by life, but a very
Mm.
sweet guy. Did you like their characters and their interaction?
Yeah, I think it was very authentic in a way. Like I like how she's like this badass chick. She's had to learn to sort of fend for
Hmm.
herself. But then you also see that vulnerable side where she does want a connection,
Yeah.
but she's just clearly afraid of commitment for whatever reason. And
Yeah.
it's a nice little development.
Do you
Have
reckon
they flipped?
something's sorry, after you,
I was going to
Byrne?
say, have they flipped the script on this and made the woman the commitment phobe?
A little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
perhaps a little bit.
Because normally it's the other
Um,
way around.
Mm.
Normally it's the dude.
the question to you both then is something happened to Zephyr before this that is caused, it's a bit traumatic, shall we say?
Yeah.
Probably.
I,
Hmm.
I think I remember her saying something sort of alluding to that when she was talking to him when they sort of get together. I
Mm.
can't remember exactly what it was, but they were talking a little bit about their pasts.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. She wasn't entirely forthcoming. It was all
No.
kind of clouded. But yeah, no, there was definitely something in her past that made her this way.
Mm,
Mhm.
I wonder if that came from the script. I wonder if that came from the actors.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, where was I up to? She encounters Tucker, who abducts her. Does he put her in a surfboard case in the back of his truck?
I think so. Look, I love the abduction when he puts a plastic bag over her head with a smiley face on it.
Yeah, yeah,
I burst out laughing in the
yeah.
cinema.
It was really good.
Excellent. Are you someone who finds himself often being the only person bursting out at certain scenes in
Oh
movies or the
yeah.
cinema? Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Me too. Me too. Used to worry me, but now I just revel in it and go a little louder, just
Yeah,
cause. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I believe it was a surfboard case or something like that. She gets stuffed in it.
yeah, yeah, and it's zipped up.
Mm.
Um, all right, so we then
Because this movie
so he
is
drives off.
definitely he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
It's not hiding the fact that this
No,
guy, wants to be a serial killer,
and he's
not just is this.
practiced.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he digs being a serial killer, I should say. It's a better thing
Mm,
to say. He digs being a serial killer.
yeah,
Yeah,
Diggs being a
yeah.
filmmaker too, but we'll get to
We'll
that.
get there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Old
yeah.
school filmmaker.
Hmm.
All right, so he drives off with her in the back in the surfboard case. He takes her surfboard with him, uh,
Hmm.
which he
Hmm.
later uses to, fake her death. Like he has the Moses
Mm.
finds the broken surfboard on the beach later on. But
Um, her
this is the point
surfboard
where
as well, just quickly, because some people just listening probably might want to know. It's an old 70s style. Is it a longboard?
it's not a modern
It's not modern.
used
It's
surfboard.
intentionally not modern because
It's
Zephyr's
vintage.
because Zephyr's
Mhm.
intentionally vintage as well. Yeah, is that
Yeah,
fair to say?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So this is then when Moses going looking for her because they exchanged a few texts and he knew where she was supposed to be. So he arrives at the beach and he finds her van but her not there. So he arrives at the surfing spot where he knew she was going to be. She's not there. We then cut to Zephyr on a single bed chained to it with in the bowels of his boat, but she doesn't know she's on a boat yet, although you could probably tell if you're on a boat. Um,
Oh, I'd be so sick.
I don't get motion sick in
No,
boats.
neither, not at all.
Um,
I've
You're
I've been in
lucky.
storms. I've been in storms, and I'm cool. Yeah,
Uh, now
I
I
get
winched
car
myself
sick
over the
though.
edge.
I get car sick. I get motion sickness. Driving in cars. Yeah,
okay.
but not on
Mhm.
boats. Whatever that means. Yeah.
So she wakes up. There is a second bed in the room, and we find Heather is not yet dead.
Mm.
Uh, so then she discovers she's on a boat. And she has her first attempt at escape, which is to try and lockpick with the underwire from Heather's bikini top.
Mm. I
Now,
really love how the girls actually sort of band together and the way that Heather relays the information about this is where we are, this is what's happening, makes you think that there was a previous girl in there who's told her that, and now
I think there
she's
was.
relaying it.
I think there
Yeah.
was.
I think that's very powerful for the women's side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. From memory, though, bikinis don't tend to have underwire,
A lot of them do these
do
days.
they? Oh, okay.
It depends. It
I haven't
depends.
worn
It's
one
all
in a long
different
time.
styles, but there are some that have them.
Okay. Well, good. That bothered me for a bit because normal bras have them. I wasn't sure
Yeah.
whether bikinis did, but okay, fair enough. You've worn more than I have, so that's fine.
Yes. Well, I
Um,
assume anyway.
I've worn two
Okay.
for stage stuff. Um,
Nice.
I'm not weird.
No, I wouldn't expect so.
So yes, it's a really nice little sort of moment where it's you get that very organic exposition.
Mm,
You get the first escape attempt, which is thwarted by Tucker coming down and giving them their meal and their water.
mm.
Uh, did we pick that it was drugged before they had it?
Yes, entirely.
Yeah.
Um, wasn't really thinking if it was going to be or not, but didn't surprise me when it happened.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
So they get drugged. Uh, and then they awaken later on the deck of the boat. Zephyr's strapped to a chair, and Heather is
Mm.
in the weird um, crane jig thing that's going to lift her out into the water. Uh,
Yes, his set, Tucker's set, if you will. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
his kill room.
Mm,
Nice way to put it.
So she gets hoisted up into the air. She's hovered over the water. Uh, Tucker has been chumming the water. So for those people that aren't aware what chumming is, basically it's a whole bunch of blood and guts, probably fish guts, maybe some parts of his previous victims. It's not made clear.
mm.
Yeah, a homing beacon to all surrounding sharks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, one of the things that I will say, like as an avid fan of Jaws and a reader of Peter Benchley, just so that people are aware, and I don't want to add to the fears, sharks generally don't like eating humans. That's why most shark
yeah.
attacks will end
No,
up being
yeah,
one bite and then that's it. They don't
Mm.
like the taste of us, even remotely. And yeah, sharks have been hunted almost to, like, especially white pointers or great whites have been hunted almost to the point of extinction because of the fear of sharks that Jaws created. And Peter Benchley spent most of the rest of his life trying to fix that, which is
Yeah.
actually kind of cool.
yeah,
I did like that
absolutely.
Peter Benchley
Please.
sort of said if Jaws was going to be made again, that the shark would be the victim.
Yeah, it would have been
Very
the
good.
shark was
That's
attacking out of um, self defense.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yeah, entirely. And I mean, it's been around for a while, but you know, when like you're on a surfboard and it's looking up, you look like a seal.
yeah,
You know, it makes mistakes like that. But a
Mm.
yeah.
big thing is climate change. That's why they're closer to coastal
Mhm.
reefs as well. And they
Yeah,
never, yeah, they used to be.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
between climate change and overfishing, there's less food for them. So if there's more
Mhm.
people in the
Mhm.
water than there's anything else, there's going to be more attacks on humans.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
100%.
sad.
yeah.
That's why I don't go in the water.
Yeah.
So yes.
And yeah, don't cull
Yeah,
sharks.
don't
Yeah,
cull sharks.
don't cull
No,
them.
Stop stealing
Yeah,
their
no.
fins.
yeah, that's shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So this is where we start to see his cinematic edge, as it were, where he's set up a large format VHS video camera on a big tripod on the deck of the boat, ready to film. He lowers Heather
Mm.
into the water, and she gets pretty quickly devoured by sharks. It was a really nice performance from the actress, though. I thought
Mm,
the
Hmm.
fear sounded real.
Hmm.
The movement looked like she was actually being attacked by a beast.
yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Might I add
and
that he does actually cut off a piece of their hair first
Oh
before he puts
yes,
them out, and then he
yes, he keeps
tapes
a
it.
token, a
He
token.
sticky tapes them onto the
Yeah,
VHS tapes.
yeah. He makes a fishing lure out of it
Yes, yeah, yeah.
and puts it in the spine of the VHS tape.
yeah.
Um,
You're in for something nasty at this point in this
yeah,
film.
Mm.
It just establishes itself as something nasty.
yeah, yeah. Thank
Yes.
you for reminding me of the hair thing. Yes. So it's revealed Tucker is a serial killer who has done this to multiple tourists. Um, we go back to the land. The next morning, her van is towed away. So we see that. Um, and Moses is getting suspicious of her whereabouts because he thinks there would be no way she'd let her van get towed away. That's her whole life. That's her
Mm.
whole house and everything.
Mhm.
So he begins to start looking for her. We go back to the boat. Zephyr manages to get out of the room, um, and is chased by Tucker. She gets up onto the deck. She throws his camera overboard, which is probably the most emotion Tucker shows throughout
Mm.
when she destroys his camera. Uh, and she is then recaptured.
Mm.
What is the camera, Baron? What type
So
of camera is it, though?
it was, I believe, a JVC VHS camera,
Circa?
circa early 90s,
Yeah.
late 80s,
That
90s. I
that's
think
what
it
I
was one
liked
of the
about it.
last VHS style cameras. Like we had one in the family in the mid 90s that took the little tapes, and
Mm.
back then that was mostly what you got was the little tapes before it went to digital.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much. You had just gotten it off your shoulder and had a kind of shoulder, mount. There was just a little bit more comfortable than that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I liked that. I liked the anachronism of that because this guy was still living in the age of Jeffrey Dahmer, etc., etc. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah, he had divorced himself from not only land but contemporary society a while ago without
yeah,
Tucker.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've just done a little quick Google of JVC. I think I remember
Mm.
seeing JVC on it. I think it was JVC GYX3U Pro,
Okay,
based
cool.
on the viewfinder.
Cool. There you go for you film nerds out there, which there will be a few like myself there.
And it was $5,253 when it first came out
Yeah.
in 1995.
5,000 plus, you said.
Yeah. But
Extraordinary.
as we see, he rushes back to the land and he
Hmm.
finds a VHS video camera in an op shop or a thrift shop or what are the Americans call them?
I think they do call them thrift
Porn,
stores.
thrift, junk, not sure.
We call them op shops, opportunity shops. Yeah, thrift shop.
Second, thrift, second hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Used goods stores. Yeah.
Where does that guy buy his granddad's coat from? I can't remember the song.
Ah,
Ah, mm.
I think it is thrift shop.
This is where we need the Google music.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we'll say thrift shop. Say thrift shop. In Australia, most of them are run by charities, as they generally are in the US as well. So so
Does he state what he pays for it?
no,
And
but
that's
it's
a
a
bugger.
second-hand
That's a
shop. So
bugger.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it's going to be like
Didn't he steal
$50.
it?
Did he steal it?
I'm
No,
sure he stole it.
are you? I'm not sure
I'm
either
pretty sure.
way.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering. But I
I have
swore
to
he
go back and have
just
a
he
look.
stole it.
Doesn't surprise me. Fits the
Yeah,
character, of
look, if he stole it,
course.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure, that's certainly what he
Yeah.
was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This guy is a POS.
Mm.
yeah,
He's disgusting.
Meanwhile, I did love the interaction with Moses when he goes to the police and he's trying to say, this girl's gone missing, and they're going, what's her last name? Oh, I don't know. What's her family contacts? I don't know.
no
And
clue.
they're going, how long did you know her for? Oh, 12 hours or whatever it was. And it's just this realization of, oh, maybe I know nothing. But then he still goes out and he's the only one that's
Yeah,
really looking for this girl because
yeah.
the police aren't really that interested.
Yeah. How long did you know it? 23 minutes, including
Yeah.
the time it took to eat the pizza. So, um, um, so Moses is trying to get the police interested, and he ends up looking at surf spot CCTV cameras
Mhm.
on the web, and he spots her van, and then he spots Tucker's ute going leaving,
And
um,
doing a Yui.
and doing a U-turn. So yes. Goes to visit him. So he then goes to visit Tucker. I'm looking at the
Yeah. Yeah,
spot
you're
on
right.
here. Um, so
Did we reckon, sorry, did we reckon that was not feasible? Were we satisfied with the way he found out
it
where
was
she
very
was?
convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little, just a little. Yeah,
There
that's what
are
I say. I agree.
there
Mm,
so because it was cameras that were close to the ocean, I know that there are some websites here
Mm.
you can actually go
Yeah,
to if you're a surfer. You
yeah.
can see what the surf is like. You can even some of them do have like a history that you
Mhm.
can go back for a certain amount of time and they delete it.
Yep.
So it's feasible.
Yeah.
Um, not sure how realistic, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, convenient, but still possible.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
But this is then the concatenation of events being a bit weird,
Mm.
where he goes to visit Tucker just as Tucker has gone to go and buy the camera. So he gets on the boat while Tucker is not there.
Mm.
And he hears Zephyr in the bowels of the boat, like banging on the decking to get people's attention.
Mhm.
Uh,
And Zephyr's been fighting this whole time.
yes.
Definitely. She is the final girl. I mean, it's more
Yeah.
of a definite, a trope's not the word, it's a signification that this is
Mm.
a horror film.
Yeah.
And they've also flipped the gender roles. We talked about her being non-committal. He's the more, I'm not going
Emotional.
to use any derogatory terms, emotional, you know what I
Emotional.
mean?
Very
Yeah,
attached.
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
Very
yeah,
attached.
yeah, yeah. And
Good word, Soxy.
and he's the one, I mean, she does better battling Tucker than he
Oh
does
yeah.
as
Mm.
well. You know what I mean?
She's
In
tougher
terms
than him
of
though.
she's tougher, you know what I mean? And there's and it's calling back to the legacy of Scream and Halloween, etc., etc. Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I
intentional.
I
So,
do
please.
love so in the shipyards, Tucker has a neighbor.
Yes.
Um, I can't remember his name, but he's fantastic.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
liked
To me, for
Uncle
those who
Dave
watch something like
Barron.
that.
But
I'm
please
just bringing
carry
him
on,
up now.
Suxy.
For those who watch The Simpsons, this guy is the old Gil of this film. He's just always trying to make a sale, and everything's just he's just downtrodden, and I just love him for that.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, no, we need to mention him because
Dave.
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 Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
it is Dave. It is Dave. Because he's a bit of a comedic relief that comes in more at the start and then
Yeah.
Mm.
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's played by an actor called Rob Carlton. Rob Carlton has been in a lot of stuff, not a lot of horror stuff. Uh, just having a quick flick here. Underbelly. He was in Underbelly,
Cool.
McLeod's Daughters, Farscape, Fat Pizza.
Okay.
Oh, Spellbinder. He was in a TV show called Spellbinder. Oh, that was. Are you either of you aware of Spellbinder?
Yes.
Such a good show.
Mate,
Mhm.
I didn't have it in New Zealand situation,
No, no. So
methinks. Yeah.
Oh.
it was an
Yeah.
Australian, like Polish collaboration.
Mhm.
What?
And it
Okay,
was a
continue.
weird sci-fi world where magic was created by electromagnetism. So there were these people called spellbinders that had these electromagnetic
Uh-huh.
suits, and they could
Uh-huh.
fly and shoot electricity and stuff. And
Of
they took
course.
over the world basically. And they were alternate universes and stuff. It was a fun show.
It certainly was.
Polish Aussie collab is what interests me.
Yeah.
Because I like Polish stuff a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Country Practice. Wow. Yeah. So not a lot of horror stuff.
But hey, he's been a continuous working actor in Australia, so shout out for that respect to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Practice. It's been in a lot of stuff. I think it's Polish. Uh,
And he
we're
was good
great.
in this, playing this archetype. That's the
Yeah,
flipping
yeah.
word I'm looking
Mm.
for. Yeah, this archetypal character that we see in horror
Yeah, I
a
really
lot.
liked
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Czechoslovakian and Czechoslovakian, Polish, and Australian.
Ah, that's
Mhm.
it.
Was there
Um,
puppetry
no,
considering Czech and
Mm-mm.
Polish? No. Okay.
no.
Just curious.
At least not that I remember. The puppets didn't feature heavily, if they did.
Mhm.
Now, I don't recall puppets.
No. Anyway, back to Dangerous Creatures.
Yeah. I
Uh,
start talking about Polish theatre and what
Polish
puppets,
TV.
yeah.
But I thought Rob Carlton was really good. I would I liked that he became part of the evil narrative rather than just simply being killed for trying to help them, like being
Mm.
killed by
Mhm.
Tucker for helping his captives. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, he like was he actively stymied their plans, which I thought was really good.
Mm.
Okay, so all right, so so Moses and Tucker get in a fight. Tucker knocks Moses unconscious by Dave. Um, and so Dave's kind of been like he's been suggesting to tourists that they do the cage dive, I think. Like he might be his
Yeah. So
Judas or
he
something.
gets a small cut, I believe, in the money, but he's got no idea that these people are being
He's got
killed.
no idea, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he does have no idea. It's ambiguous at the very start whether he's in on it, but yeah, you soon see.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But then he is killed.
Mm.
Dave is killed by Tucker when he hears Zephyr screaming.
Mhm.
Then Tucker heads out into the ocean. He puts Moses in the harness, and but Zephyr's telling him to stay still, don't panic. The
Mm.
sharks are drawn to your movement. They won't attack you if you're not prey, basically.
Mhm.
So then Tucker pulls Moses out of the water and stabs him. Um,
I never want to test that with sharks, though. We've been
yeah, no,
talking about they don't attack,
yeah,
stay still. I
Just
never
watch
want to
Shark
test
Week.
it out. No,
yeah,
There's
I'm
lots of
good.
docos on Shark Week where they do that. Just watch that instead.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But they are interrupted by the lifeguard helicopter, so he drags them back inside. Um, and then he has to wait for the coast to be clear, like the Coast Guard or the lifeguards to be away. Zephyr has another escape attempt. This is, I think, fourth escape attempt. Like she's trying real hard, and
Mm.
it frustrated
Mm.
me no end because
Constantly.
her
Yeah.
ideas were good. She had good ideas to get away, and then she just kept getting stymied.
Just that last one where she's trying to get away from he's coming in to drug her with a needle.
Uh,
Oh my gosh, the just the point where she just should have picked it up and stabbed him with it
yeah,
and then run away. I think
yeah,
she would have had a better shot of it, of just the whole time I'm going, just get him with it.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I at this point, good to mention the prosthetic work with the practical gore. I thought was really
yeah,
good.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
It's important to mention, Sean, and again, I said
yeah,
this film is nasty and it's shown a lot through its gore. It is
yeah.
violent. You do
Hmm.
see a lot. A lot is done to people that is to watch,
Well, she
like
bites
Wolf
her own
Creek.
thumb
Yeah,
off. She
Mm.
yeah,
bites her
there is
own thumb off.
that. Yeah, yeah. It's not
Oh,
for the squeamish.
no.
This
Mm-mm.
movie will make you on edge, definitely. Certainly with the shark phobia on top, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is her next escape attempt. And
Well,
you're
you did
right.
you like it? Did you like it though, Baron? The
Yeah. Oh
prosthetic,
no, it was really
did you
good.
think they
Oh
were up
yeah.
to par? Yeah.
I was expecting the usual with the usual way someone in these films escapes from handcuffs is they dislocate the thumb and then they
Mhm.
pull the handcuff off, doing
Mhm.
the partial gloving of the hand.
Yeah.
I was expecting to see the hand skin like peel back and stuff,
Hmm.
but her biting her own thumb off, that's new, and
She's
I really,
badass.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nicely put.
yeah. Uh, so she sees another boat in the distance. Um, oh, not another boat. Sorry, no. She hears music and she sees lights, and it must be like a wedding reception is
It's a
taking
big
place.
party boat
It's a
because you
party
see it.
boat, yeah. Mm.
This isn't the first time you see that boat in
Yeah.
the film either.
Oh no, well we see the boat, but the we see obviously what is the party on the shore. So she's
Mm.
swimming to shore.
Mm. Oh yes, that's right.
So yeah, no, she'd previously tried to get the attention of the party boat, but
Hmm.
didn't because it was obviously too loud. They couldn't see her, all that sort of thing. So she's swimming off in salt water with a missing thumb. Mm,
Yeah, floating chum.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So she makes it all the way to the shore. She's just about to run up the beach, and that's when Tucker arrives in his small boat. and grabs her and takes her back to the boat. Like, she's done so well to get so far. I just let her survive.
Yeah.
for God's sake.
It's very Sisyphus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Push it uphill, down we go. Yeah.
So he sedates her as well.
Mm.
So she then wakes up on deck with Moses. Moses has been bandaged, so he's no longer dying.
I think he kind of still is. He's just
Yeah.
he's
I
not
think-
doing well.
Yeah, he's not doing well. He's not doing well. For a moment, I thought he was dead. I thought he was actually dead, but then he
So
was.
did I. Yes, so did I. Yeah.
So Zephyr's now in the harness, so she's lowered into the water. There's a huge great white shark, and it scares off the other sharks apparently, and starts prowling around the boat. Zephyr gets free of the harness and falls into the water. She comes to face with the great white, and it swims off. I think we're supposed to think that it saw a greater predator in her eyes or something.
Yeah. If I may, I think that speaks to this. I think the subtext with Zephyr is that she's facing the past or the beast, the shark within in this moment, and this is kind of a mirror to mirror of her own, inner soul moment, overcoming her own shark within, etc., etc. You get me. You get me.
Yeah.
I got that, but I also got the idea that the filmmakers were trying to show that these are big, beautiful, majestic animals, and they're not always just man-eaters.
As well, yes,
It's a really
yes.
beautiful scene.
Yeah.
But I mean, a shark in that instance probably wouldn't have recognized her as prey either.
Mm.
But she's
Well, they
not
do
prey
say,
shaped.
yeah, you never know, but they
Don't
do
want to
say
test it out, but
if
they
a
do
shark
say.
is coming towards you, they say you've got to keep eye contact with it, and that's exactly what she does. She follows it,
Yeah.
and so it goes, oh, well, you're clearly got too much fight in you. I'm just going to go off and find something else to eat.
Yeah. I'm gonna go bite a power on the bottom of the ocean or something.
Before we get to the end, that shark was CGI, yes, that she was staring face to face with.
Yes.
What do we think of the CGI work in
It was
this film?
okay.
Yeah.
I
Watch
found
it a few
nothing
years down the
jarring.
track, I might change my
A
mind,
few
but
years down the track, but I'm usually a heavy critic with CGI work because I find it very jarring as the first
God, I
thing to
don't
take
like
me out of a film. But none of it took me out of this film, so there is that to its credit. Its score's actually improving as we talk, actually, with this film.
I think they put as much money into that short scene as they could so the shark would be as realistic as possible.
I think so.
I mean, that was the only
yeah.
point in the film at which I dug my fingers into my legs.
Yeah, and there was enough going on textually and subtextually as well. That I think to not focus on that.
Yeah.
There was enough to take away from that. So yeah,
I mean,
the
there was more coming
integration
from her than
worked.
the shark in that scene, which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
So Zephyr then, after facing the darkness in the eyes of the shark, it swims off. Zephyr climbs back on board Tucker's boat. So she's there. Moses is near death. Zephyr picks up a spear gun and shoots Tucker with it. Then Tucker falls in the ocean and is eaten by the shark.
Yes.
Do we think he's coming back for the sequel?
Oh, he might have a brother out there.
Yeah, twin brother, twin brother.
Or it'll be like the ghost version of him, something
Yeah,
silly. But
yeah, yeah.
no, I think if we got a sequel, it would probably be about another killer doing like a copycat or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
something like that. But I don't think we need a sequel.
No, no, no. How many tapes were there in his little library, do you think?
Oh, there were quite a
Oh,
few.
quite a few. Not
Could get a prequel.
Poughkeepsie level, but there was quite a few.
Yeah.
We could get a prequel.
Yeah. Oh, might get a prequel. That'd be all right.
Mm,
But for those people that haven't seen it yet that are still listening, yeah, he opens a cabinet on his boat. It's not even particularly well hidden
Mm,
or even
mm.
particularly well secured.
No.
He opens a cabinet and he puts away Heather's tape, and it's revealed that there's like three shelves, and like
mm.
it's two and a half of them are filled at this point. But there's
Yeah.
nothing to say he hasn't got a storage closet somewhere on the mainland where he stores them as well. So yeah.
Mm.
I
I
liked his
just like to
attachment. Sorry, after you.
I just like to say how much I loved his little dance number that he did.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
His
Yeah.
his Buffalo Bill homage.
Was that when
Yes.
he was clutching the camera like a baby at that point during the dance? Or was
I
that at
think
another
so.
point? You remember the image that's coming back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me?
and he's in like
Yeah,
the
that must have
dressing
been
room.
during that. Yeah. Yeah. So Jai Courtney, should he get more work like
Yeah,
this
Yeah,
along
he does
these
it well.
lines? Yeah.
I don't want to see him get stereotyped into it though, but I would love to see him play villains more often.
yeah,
hmm I mean, he's already shown that he can do violence on screen, so it's
yeah.
just in
Hmm.
another context. What about Zephyr? What is Zephyr, the actor's actual name, please, Baron?
Hassie Harrison,
Should she get more along these lines? Do we have a
the
potential fi
badass.
yeah, no, potential
Yeah,
like I see action and or horror with
Yeah,
yeah,
Hassie, yeah?
absolutely. She does it
Yeah.
so well.
hmm hmm and 10.6 million you said into the Gold Coast economy, which is great. So
Hmm.
yeah,
films do help. Films are important. Because the economy. And yeah, so hopefully we do get more films like this, even if it wasn't entirely for me. I'm very glad it exists because
yeah.
Mm.
it's not a bad film at all. No. What do you
Um,
guys reckon now that we've sorry, Baron, don't want to jump
oh
again.
no, no, I was just having a look at her IMDb, and it's. I mean, she's done a lot of good work. Not a long time, but she's like 48 episodes of Tacoma FD, 18 episodes of Yellowstone, a bunch of TV movies,
hmm
and a lot of different stuff as well. So I think, look, I think we will see more of her.
And I mean, not to just objectify, just put it down to looks, but she looks great on camera. Yeah.
Very attractive.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, she looks great on camera, definitely. And she has this kind of unique look as well. There's just a little something there undefinable, which is,
Yeah.
makes people want to see more. Yeah, so I
Having
think
said,
we will see more of her,
oh,
Baron.
100%. Having said that as well, like looking at her history, she started college at 15. So not only is she conventionally attractive, but she's
Oh,
also
okay,
intelligent.
sweet.
So yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, Final Girl. More Final Girl,
more
I
of that.
think. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
But look, that brings us to like she signals another boat with a flare gun. Is it a flare?
Is it the party boat?
I think it's the party boat, but she sets off a flare.
Yeah, yeah,
So they
yeah.
can they can see that, and they turn around, they start coming towards her.
That's right. They do. Yeah, they come back. Yeah, the music, yeah, stops. And then it turns and then the music starts again, isn't that
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I was half expecting the boat to be on fire for some reason.
Him to be there like the Terminator
Yeah,
with
as
his
often.
camera.
Yeah, yeah. As often in these films, like they end up like setting fire to the cabin or whatever. I was half expecting the boat to be on fire and she'd have to be pulled off the burning boat by whoever was saving her. But we don't see that. Like the boat's obviously fine.
Mm.
I think you're onto it there, whoever said it, that if it did happen, it would be a prequel because he's dead by the shark.
Yeah,
Hmm.
But this movie is successful.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are those tapes.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, there are those tapes. That's your key.
Oh,
That's your link. Yeah.
found footage.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know the Poughkeepsie. I don't know if you know Baron, the Poughkeepsie, but Soxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know the Baron?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an extreme number. It's quite fucked.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um,
it's currently got about a 6.5 out of 10 on the aggregator
hmm,
sites.
I saw
So
that.
it's doing okay. It appears to be making its money back, which is fine. Uh, so do we want to do ratings then?
Yeah, I'll go first, if I may. I
Sure.
give it a 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to give it 2.5 after first viewing. But there's good elements to this. It is well made. It's not bad filmmaking at all. Um, there are a few, I don't know if it's editing or the character development where things jump along quicker than they should. I think. I think the characters and the actors were you could have stayed longer with them, and there, I think the stakes not high is not the word, but there would have been less stakes that belong more in their own kind of unique dilemma rather than something that echoes something like Wolf Creek so much. Am I making sense with
Yeah.
that?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Not a big critique though. Not a big critique. It's cool that you branched out from a very artistically crafted dark world in terms of production design and the like heavily psychological to something to a danger that's very external. You know,
Mm.
this sharks in the Australian waters, yeah, or just the Australian waters itself. You know, yeah, all sorts of stuff in there. I don't want to go in there anyway. That's another story. So it's three. It's 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what are you
whoever
going
wants to go
next?
next.
I gave it a 4 out of 5. I had a lot of fun with it. Like I said, I love shark exploitation. I loved that they had multiple different species of sharks throughout the film as well. It wasn't just focusing on one shark or one type of shark.
Yep.
I really enjoyed the characters. The story was a lot of fun. Yeah, I loved it.
Okay. Look, I was going to give it a 3, but after chatting about some of the stuff, I'm probably going to go up to a 3.5. Um, I would have liked there to be more actual shark in it, or maybe a bit more wit time with the actual sharks rather than with the people. Having said that, Joe Courtney was very charismatic as
Mm.
the serial killer, and our final girl was amazing. So yeah, no, and yeah, I'm 3.5 from me.
Yeah, so we definitely recommend it.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, yeah,
Not bad
absolutely.
scores. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, comes in at about what our aggregate for
Mhm.
the on the internet is anyway. So we're probably just a little bit under the aggregate, which is fine. Any recommendations? What have people been watching?
You should have brought that up beforehand.
I can go
It's
first. I can
doing
go
it now.
first.
Thank you, Baron.
I've been watching a wonderful little, it's not horror based, it's just a recommendation. Wonderful little UK TV show called Ludwig with David Mitchell from Would I Lie to You and all those various like sketch
Hmm.
shows.
No Mitchell. Yeah.
It's a kind of murder mystery kind of show. So the blurb is while seeking to unravel the mystery of his twin brother's disappearance, reclusive puzzle designer John Ludwig Taylor takes on his twin brother James's identity as a detective chief inspector on Cambridge's major crime squad.
Shout out to Ipswich Little Theatre to Helen and Ian, my two directors there for A Perfect Murder. I'm pretty sure they recommended me this, being big David Mitchell fans. At the same time, Perfect Murder being a murder mystery, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. David Mitchell's hilarious. What else do you have there, Baron?
I haven't really been
If
watching.
anything.
Well, sorry, I'll reverse that. I've been going back and rewatching the Friday the 13th films.
Where
Mm,
are you up to? What number?
2.
Yeah, 2. Okay.
Took me a
nice.
couple of days to get through the first one just because I had stuff on. So I was like watching it in half an hour spurts. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
so yeah, I've just finished 2. Look, they're
Yeah.
classics, but they're a hard watch in today's society. Difficult to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Especially the first one, all it's kind of, we're talking about overrated. That never made anyone's list, the first one. Because
Yeah.
apart from the twist, apart from the reveal, that second act,
Yeah.
that's a meander fest. That
Oh,
really
so
is a meander fest.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all I've got.
Soxy, did you want to go? Because I've got a bit of a list.
Fair enough. I watched a couple of films this week. Well, I went and saw Bring Her Back at the cinemas. I loved
Mm,
it. I'm looking forward
good.
to talking about that in another
Yes.
episode.
Soon,
Um,
children, soon.
Absolutely. I also watched. I've been getting into the old Doris Wishman films actually. She back in the day when America first started to allow nudism on camera, she was a nudist, and she made a lot of incredible, especially in her early years, more so than the later years, a lot of incredible nudist films that were, had a lot of nudity in them. They couldn't show anything below the belt at that point, so it's very funny. Like you'll be watching it, they'll be like in a nudist place, and then everyone's wearing their undies, or they've got things like covering their downstairs in places, and it was all non-sexual. I believe later on in her career, it got a little more sexualized. But I've started on her films. I watched Hideout in the Sun, which is a 1960s film. Um, Gosh, it is about these two guys, it's two brothers, and they've robbed a bank and they're trying to get away and they kidnap this poor woman because they want to take her car and they're looking through her bag and they go, "Oh, you're part of this country club." So they go out to the country club and then they realize, "Uh-oh, it's actually a nudist
Nudist
place."
colony.
Yes, it is. It's a nudist colony. And then there's all these shenanigans happen
Mhm. It looks very
and
shenanigan filled.
yeah,
Yes.
so one of them, the younger of the brothers, falls in love with her after, one day together, naked, out in the sun. And the other brother, he's just a greedy bastard and he wants all the money and he's trying to get away and he's running through a reptile park and all the reptiles are out and he gets bitten by a snake. It's a lot of fun. If you're into that sort of thing, definitely
Huh.
check it out. I've also watched her 1961 film Nude on the Moon, which I believe is her most famous film.
Okay. Of
Again, two scientists, they decide they're going to go up to the moon and they
course.
build a spaceship and they get up there and then there's just all these naked people. And again, one of them falls in love with the queen of the moon
Of
and he's
course.
trying to, he's completely distracted because, oh my gosh, a naked woman. Meanwhile, the other guy's like, come on, we got to get our like readings and we got to take these photos and, we got to do the science. And it's a lot of fun, a lot of crazy, weird things happen. It's a very sweet little film. Definitely check it out. And the only other film I watched this week was by unfortunate timing. I watched The Ghost of Flight 401, which is a
Oh.
1978 film starring Ernest Borgnine. It's
Mhm.
sadly based on a true story.
Yeah.
Plane went down in 1972. Parts of that plane were salvaged and used for other planes. And the real story goes
Oh.
that both passengers and flight crew were seeing the ghosts of the people who passed away on that flight.
Uh-huh.
And
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
they were warning them and telling them all sorts of things. There was one instance where there was a fire on board, and someone said that the captain of the plane that went down had come and told him to beware of a fire. And then eventually, I believe they did a seance, and then they never saw these ghosts again. But it's a interesting film. It's a made-for-TV film. There were a few films made on this unfortunate disaster, but it's worth your
Mm.
time. It's well
Interesting.
done.
Okay.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Okay.
What have you got, Mr.
Now,
Popcorn?
I suffered a bit of insanity, insomnia recently. Well,
Six of one, half dozen of the
exactly. So I went on a bit of a binge, which started with the original Pet Cemetery because it had been a 20 plus years, was on that list, and so I had a rewatch. And what a film. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
it's really good.
Ah,
Mm.
stands up like fine wine, absolutely. And the language in it, a man's heart is stonier.
Mm.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, really good, really good. Now, have we seen by Yorgos Lanthimos, killing of a sacred deer.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a dark piece of work, isn't it?
Mm.
Yes, yeah, not really fitting for an afternoon.
No, no. It's 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 difficult to place where you should watch that film.
Mm.
Yes, it is. That's a discussion, actually. Because it's going to ruin your day. It's
Oh
one
yeah.
of those
It
films. It's
is.
just one of those finely crafted dramas that goes weird as the psychology,
Yeah.
degrades and decays, and it will ruin your day by the end. Just the way it
Yeah.
finishes. It finishes with a yeah. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say it's a silly pun. All right, Lisa Frankenstein. It's not made for me. It's not for made for me. It's just another movie that I can't relate to. But if you do find, if you relate to the character, yeah, which I know a lot of people do, this movie does
Hmm.
have a cult following already. And if you're into the 80 neons aesthetic vibe done by the cinematographer, the lighting people who are giving you that constant pink and blue combo that we've seen in 90% films, it is one of them. But it's a good one. Don't get me wrong. And then I saw the original, finally ticked it off the list, Children of the Popcorn. Apologies for taking this long. I spit on your grave.
Oh,
Are we talking the original?
The original
yeah.
Suxy. I
Excellent.
finally watched shout out the Bat. Me and the Bat did a remote watch along. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And yeah. Have you seen it, Baron?
Yeah. Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you've seen
I had
it.
it from Terry's video in Harvey Bay in
Hmm.
1985
Okay.
Mhm.
when I really shouldn't have.
Have you watched it recently since then? It's a
No, not as an
rewatch.
adult.
Oh,
Hmm.
might be worth your time.
Okay.
What about you, Suxy? Are you a fan of this film? Because I've got a feeling, well, I know from things you've
Oh,
suggested already, you like
I do
extreme,
like it.
yes?
I do. There's an entire genre sort of I suppose that spawned out from that film. It has a remake which has a bunch of sequels. The original also has a more recent sequel that came out where she comes back with her daughter. Don't want to spoil that too much, but yeah, I do dig those sorts of films.
Wow, they really have done a bunch of the modern sequels, haven't
There's a
Yeah.
lot, Baron. I thought I was up to date watching the 2010 number, but no, no, no. There is much more, much more. Yeah. Like it's a little, not quite to the Amityville level, but keep going. It could get there. It could get there. But no, I was actually, okay, there's two things. I don't want to sound horrible by saying this in any way to try and not take away the gravity of what is shown on this film. It's not as extreme as I thought it was going to be. In the sense of the graphic violence I expected more physical, actual punching. I don't want to go on too
I
far, but
think
you know what I mean.
it was extremely extreme for its
Oh,
time.
Yeah.
God, yes. Yeah, God, yes. And even watching it now, it's not fun.
No.
I went out of the room a couple of times and did
Mm.
other things and came back and yeah. Um, but the other thing in terms of that, apart from there's some crazy 70s editing and acting and during the scenes as well. Like we're just both going, huh? What's
Hmm.
he? Okay, don't want to laugh at this. We can't laugh at this. So this is the 70s thing to it. But
Hmm.
plot-wise, structure-wise, actually put together quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a rubbish film. It's not a ragtag stitched together just to get your jollies off,
Mm.
throwing these, yeah. Because
One of
because the kill scenes, just quickly, kill scenes, they're just as heavy. The
yeah.
weight between the two acts, if you will,
Mm.
she does come back and pay revenge just
Oh
as
yeah.
violently as the acts that were committed on her, even more
Yep.
so, which is, I think, perfectly warranted.
Oh,
Especially the
Hmm.
bathtub. Me and the bat were just both like, yes.
100%. One of the things that I did see on an interview with some of the cast, um, the four male actors in the film,
Hmm. Hmm.
they felt a real sort of kinship with the female actor, and they suggested to the director that whenever she was to be nude, they would be nude as well. Because it's like, look, she's over here being naked throughout the film. We don't feel it's right that it's just her. So
Mm.
they were pushing to be naked as well, just even if they were on set, not even necessarily on screen.
That's commendable. Definitely,
Hmm.
that's commendable. Yeah, so tick that one off the list, and yeah, you can do Last House on the Left, the OG, because I've only seen, I don't know if it was a lit 2011, 2012. It came out around the same time as that I Spit on Your
Mm.
Grave,
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh, I know
remake.
what else I watched.
Mm.
The People Under the Stairs.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Wes Craven, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's great. Yes, I've rewatched that in the past couple of years, and it stands up
Yeah,
fantastically.
Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
really does, really does. And Last House on the Left is Wes Craven as well. That's his first film, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I believe that's his first one.
If
Yeah.
only I had something right in front of me that meant I could look at and
I know, I know. And I could as well, of course. But we've talked about Wes Craven a lot. But so yeah, that's pretty much what I've been watching. I'm keeping up with Murderbot. News episode just dropped this week.
yeah.
Yeah, which was
Hmm.
great.
I'm watching them two at a time,
Okay.
just because the continual cliffhangers is beginning to shit me to tears.
Mm.
Do you know how many episodes we're getting?
It's either 8 or 10.
Okay, that's the Apple way,
Yeah,
like Netflix, just usually around that number. Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, and if you like sci-fi, just, yeah, in general, check it out.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Last House on the Left, 1972, confirmed to be Wes Craven's first.
That
Mm.
was his first. Yeah. We haven't covered it on the pod. We haven't covered that one on the pod, nor have we covered I
Right, he
Spit on Your
did
Grave.
Swamp Thing with Dick
Uh,
Durock, one of the first cinematically released DC Comics films.
Mm.
Cool. I forgot about that.
all right.
Any plugs, folks?
Eve Cop, Escape Manor, Ipswich Little Theatre. That's me.
Yeah. Look,
Waiting to hear back on things, basically. Yeah, Baron.
nice. Look, Improv Queensland, um, Act React Theatre, Supernova, IFWG Publishing, Comic Getting in Toowoomba, who had me and most likely have me back. That's me. Soxy?
Oh, Perth Horror fans, Perth Horror Film Festival, which is coming up in a couple of months. Keep an eye out for that. And of course, Dr. Scary's 3D Maze, which is available for hire. We are available across WA. We will travel to you for your big events. You can call David on 0414 956 410.
Can we get him in Brisbane?
Oh, maybe,
Mm.
maybe. We're hoping to expand outside of WA at some point, so you never know.
Okay.
Hmm.
I will look that up, folks, if you're in Western Australia. So can you be hired for like birthday parties or what's the go?
Oh, well, it's a fairly big maze, so
Yeah.
probably not unless you have a very big property, but mainly bigger events. We do all the fairs, we do the Royal Show here, lots of
Oh, so it's like one of
Halloween
those ones
events.
where it's in like a big trailer and then there's like a tent out the back that expands and
Yeah, so it's what we used to actually have a permanent ride that was at the showgrounds here, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, they've bulldozed almost all of the permanent buildings at the Royal Showgrounds here.
uh,
So we unfortunately lost that. That was an amazing ride for those who came on. We also used to have a ghost train, the 3D spinning ghost train, which was next door.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but now we have
Wow.
these. We've got three different inflatable rides now. So
oh,
they're a
cool.
maze. We bring them out, we blow them up. You come on through. We change them up as well a bit, whether props change or a little bit. It's always a little bit
Nice.
different. We have a zombie maze. We have Dr. Scary's original 3D maze, and we have the Crazy Clown Asylum maze.
Ooh, okay, cool. So yeah, WA
Fantastic.
folks, get about it. If you want it for an event or something, you've got a big enough area, definitely do it.
Absolutely.
When do you recommend people start hitting you up for Halloween? Is it too
Oh,
early?
now we're
Now?
already
Yeah.
booking
Okay.
out for October, so definitely get
Yeah.
in
Cool.
touch.
Yeah.
Yes, it's starting to get towards that. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
in the middle of the
July,
year.
August. And speaking of starting to get towards, this will be episode 90, Baron.
Ooh,
Yes, we're heading towards 100.
nice.
Yeah, I don't know if we want
And
to think
heading
about
towards
what we'd
two
like
years.
to. Yeah, 2 years and 100. So I don't know if we want to think about what we'd like to cover on that. If you have any suggestions, follow us. Their Children are Evil Popcorn Pod.
Like
Just
and
Google
subscribe, hit the
that. Yes,
bell,
like and
all of those.
subscribe, hit the bell, all those good things.
Mhm.
And we will bring you more. Yeah. Thank you,
Yes.
Baron. Thank you for doing Dangerous Animals. Thank you, Studio Canal, for bringing it to us
Yeah.
here in Queensland.
In
Sorry,
Queensland, where this film was set.
exactly.
Well, you want to do your sign outs, folks?
Yes, is Miss Popcorn down here on the Gold Coast. Lovely as sharks. No worries. Yeah, just don't punch it in the nose. Soxy, what about you?
It's been a pleasure to be here. Always happy to talk shark exploitation. On that note, I have actually acquired the almost 7 hour long director's cut of Dick Shark, which I hope to sit down and spend a day watching. So I'll tell you how that goes.
Watch along. It's a watch along.
That's a thing. Okay. All right. Wasn't aware of it. Might have a look at it. All right. Well, then from me, go to bed. Do 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 do. Go to bed. Do 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 do. Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Bed.
Oh, I love it when you're evil. This is me.